Something happened that quietly rewrote the Raiders' future overnight, and most fans didn't even realize how big it was at first. It wasn't a trade, it wasn't a firing, and it wasn't even something the Raiders directly controlled. But the moment Dante Moore announced he was returning to Oregon for another season, the entire draft board tilted, and the Raiders suddenly found themselves standing in the most powerful position they've held in years. One decision by a 20-year-old quarterback just turned Las Vegas into the center of the NFL universe. Moore's choice made sense for him. He is young, talented, and still learning what pressure really feels like. He has all the tools, but tools alone do not build careers. His playoff performance showed flashes of brilliance mixed with moments of panic, the kind of game that reminds everyone that development is not optional. Add in nil money, the chance to compete for a championship, and the reality that rushing into a broken franchise can ruin a career before it even begins, and his decision looked smart. But while Moore was protecting his future, he was unintentionally reshaping someone else's. The Raiders. With Moore gone, the quarterback class collapsed into a single name at the top: Fernando Mendoza. No debate, no split opinions, no two-horse race. Just one quarterback standing alone. That kind of scarcity is power. Every franchise that needs a quarterback now knows the truth. There is only one answer in this draft, and the team holding the number 1 pick controls everything. That team is Las Vegas. Suddenly, the Raiders are not just picking first. They are holding the only key that opens the door to a franchise quarterback. Teams are not going to politely inquire. They are going to beg. They are going to overpay. They are going to panic. Because if they miss on Mendoza, they are not settling for a backup plan. There is no real backup plan. The gap between Mendoza and the rest of the class is massive. It is not a step down. It is a fall. This is why those ugly late-season losses mattered. This is why sitting at number 1 instead of number 2 changed everything. If the Raiders were second, they would be trapped, watching someone else take the only quarterback worth taking, while they stared at a board full of maybes and projects. But they are first, and now the entire league has to move through them. That is why trade offers will be insane. Multiple first-round picks, star players, entire draft boards offered just to move up one spot. Teams like the Jets, the Cowboys, and others desperate for stability will be calling day and night. This is the kind of leverage teams dream about. But leverage only matters if you know what you want. And the Raiders have a choice that will define them for the next decade. They can cash in that leverage and turn one pick into a mountain of assets, starting a massive rebuild. Or they can use it and finally end the quarterback nightmare that has haunted this franchise for years. Fernando Mendoza is not hype. He is not a lottery ticket. He is polished, cerebral, and built for pro football. He wins before the snap. He processes fast. He throws with timing. He rarely repeats mistakes. He is not a scrambler who survives chaos. He is a commander who needs structure. And when given that structure, he thrives. The Raiders already have pieces that could make his life easier. Brock Bowers can be his safety valve and his weapon. Ashton Genty can control games on the ground. This is not a barren roster. It is a roster that needs a brain at quarterback. And Mendoza is that. That is why this feels like the moment to stop patching holes and start building something real. No more bridge quarterbacks. No more hoping a veteran can magically revive his career. No more pretending that temporary answers are solutions. This is the chance to draft a quarterback and say, this is our guy, and everything from here on out will be built around him. But drafting Mendoza is only half the battle. The other half is coaching. A quarterback like Mendoza does not survive in chaos. He needs a system that values timing, preparation, and intelligence. He needs a coach who understands how to teach, not just how to motivate. That is why the head coaching hire is now more important than any other decision this franchise will make. An offensive-minded coach who understands structure, rhythm, and quarterback development is essential. Someone who can design an offense around what Mendoza does well, not force him to become something he is not. Coaches like Clint Kubiak, Joe Brady, and Davis Webb make sense because they understand how to build quarterbacks, not just call plays. And hovering over all of this is Tom Brady. His influence is quiet but massive. His football philosophy is built on preparation, footwork, timing, and intelligence. That is Mendoza's game. That is Brady's game. If Brady has a voice in this process, it will not be about flash. It will be about foundation, about building something that lasts. The Raiders could also go defense first, hiring a defensive mastermind and pairing him with a strong offensive coordinator. That path can work. But the modern NFL belongs to offenses. The teams that win are the ones that protect their quarterbacks and build systems around them. Defense matters, but quarterbacks decide eras. This is why this moment is so dangerous. Because everything is lined up perfectly. The number 1 pick. The only elite quarterback. A coaching search filled with smart minds. Young weapons already in place. This is not luck. This is opportunity. But opportunity can be wasted. If the Raiders trade down just because the offers are tempting, they might delay their future instead of securing it. If they hire the wrong coach, they could ruin the right quarterback. If they chase short-term fixes again, they could trap themselves in the same cycle that has defined them for too long. This is the fork in the road. One path leads to commitment. Draft Mendoza. Hire the right coach. Build patiently and intelligently. The other path leads to comfort. Trade back. Collect picks. Delay the hard decision. Hope it works later. Both paths carry risk. But only one offers clarity. This is the chance to stop drifting. To stop reacting. To finally choose a direction and run toward it without fear. Raider Nation, this is it. This is the moment that will define the next 10 years of this franchise. So what do you want them to do? Do you draft Fernando Mendoza and finally build around a true franchise quarterback? Or do you trade the pick and start a massive rebuild from the ground up? Do you trust this front office to make the right call? Or are you worried they will overthink it and blow it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you're ready to see the